I kind of said they were bad snaps, but the more I think about it, they both had Aaron Smith in the hands, and he fumbled both of them, was lucky to recover them, but you come away with no points there, then Michael Nelson gets the 79-yard run, then Pulaski has 2 fumbles in the first quarter. The Maroons shot themselves in the foot. That's why they trail 14-0 here at halftime.
And we were joking around while we were doing the game in the first half, but we were saying that is it just me or it seemed like it rained every time Pulaski had the football, but literally every time it seemed like they touched the football, the rain started opening up, and now the rains look like it's slowed down a little bit and come to a stop, and hopefully it gets some dry weather next time again.
Well, you hope so, and you wonder how wet the field conditions are because Dolan slid down here right at the end of the first half. And with the kind of offense Pulaski runs with 4 and 5 wide receivers and quarterback in the shotgun, I think a wet field or a rain, I think that hurts Pulaski's offense more than it does North Laurel. Because North Laurel's just going to line up and try to knock you off the line of scrimmage with Blair and Nelson doing a few quarterback keepers. So the weather, if it becomes a factor, it will play to North Laurel's advantage, I believe. But the main thing for the Maroons, in all honesty, Pulaski's lucky to only be down 2 scores at halftime. They need to take this opening drive in the third quarter, score, and get back in this football game and see what happens.
Well, the main thing they need to do is hold on to the football. The 2 fumbles were cost in the first half. The first and goal play, looking back on it, maybe it looked like the first time Aaron may have just taken off a little too soon and was out of position by the time the ball got there. But nonetheless, Pulaski takes themselves out of scoring position. The 2 turnovers, one at the 30-yard line of North Laurel, Pulaski driving. The other one right at midfield. And Coach Hines will tell you, you have to be sound in the kicking game. On special teams is what he said. You cannot turn the football over.
Well, I said in the first half when Sept and I were doing the game, on the road in a district game, you cannot have first and goal at the 1 and come away with 0 points, and you can't have 2 fumbles when you're driving to get back in the game. Those are 3 plays that if Pulaski loses this football game, they're going to think about all weekend because they had it right there to tie the game 7-all. They didn't cash in, take advantage of it, and let's hope it doesn't bite them. But right now, they're on the short end of a 14-0 score.
Well, we're here in London, Kentucky tonight for the second half here on MVPSportsChannel.com. Jeff Wicks along with Doug Eves and Brian Abner. And we've got still lots of football left to go. So we've seen some quick strikes. We've seen lots of penalties. We've seen footing issues and high school football. Anything can happen, and a little bit of momentum could certainly ignite the Pulaski Maroons here for the second half, so we'll find out.
Well, North Laurel has showed no inclination whatsoever to kick this ball deep to Tyler Dorns or Caleb Cox, and quite honestly, that's some pretty good strategy because those are 2 guys that can take the ball to the house anytime they touch it. And the Jags have done a good job in kicking game, just kicking these little pooch kicks and line drives and keeping the ball away from them. They're going to go deep this time.
So this will be the opportunity here, but they're going to.
And his knee did not look like to me it touched. Brian Abner says I'm wrong. It did. So again, a mistake by the Maroons. I'll tell you, Pulaski can't buy a break in this football game.
And sometimes you just got to fight your way out if you're backed up against the door here a little bit for the Maroons, and they are backed all the way up inside the 5-yard line, and they're going to go on first and down, and their opening series of the second half will start at their own 3-yard line.
Wow. Just what they did not need. Terrible field position, and I tell you what, they just got to hang on to football, Jeff.
When it rains, it pours, and here on a rainy night in London, here's the give to Dolan, and he does not get back to the line of scrimmage, but he does break the plane, and forward motion is the only thing that prevents the safety there. So they will put him at the 1-yard line.
I'll tell you what, you're down 14-0. North Laurel's got a jailbreak going up the middle. I'd go play action pass and throw the ball as far as I can throw it. I think you almost got to throw it here.
And Riley Hall, I agree with you in that particular case because you got safety that's up within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage, but incomplete. That one intended for Aaron Hall from Iowa.
The ref, the pothead just dropped a flag in the end zone.
So we'll find out.
Riley looked at it.
So if that is indeed a penalty in the end zone.
Ball, roughing the passer, that's 15 and a first down.
And a gift from the Jags. So a opportunity to put away the Maroons, and the Jaguars, again with a mental mistake there, a little overzealous, and they let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, they really did. Now, Pulaski still backed up.
But at least you got a little breathing room because that looked dangerous.
They gave them a 14-yard penalty because the ball's at the 15 unless they were right at the goal line. And I didn't have a good vantage point. It could have been that way.
No one's trying to get to the corner and turn upfield and gains about a yard. So there looked to be some hint of no one's getting up very slowly. And I thought that there was indeed looked like some extra activity late, but again, Jones looked like he was down on the turf. And of course, we don't have instant replay to overturn that here in high school football. But apparently the ball squirted out, and Goins apparently took a big hit and a turnover on downs. But more importantly, it gives great field position for the Jags, who are already inside the red zone.
That's Goins' second fumble of the night, and that's just inexcusable. I mean, you give them the ball first and 10 inside the red zone, and they're going, they smell blood now.
So this is straight ahead, and it looked like that Jacob Binney came in there and lowered his shoulder, and that's about the only thing that kept Gabe Blair from blasting into the end zone and backing on another 6 points here for the Jags.
Second down and 1 to go for Jaguars first down.
So now as they're spotting the ball right across the 10-yard line, it'll be second down and a yard to go for the first. So Michael Nelson under center, and he's going to keep this one himself, but he's wrapped up in a hurry, and a couple of Maroons were right there and well aware of Michael Nelson's abilities to carry the football. So now third down.
Yeah.
At about 36 seconds.
North Laurel's in 4-down territory, 3rd and 1 from the Pulaski 10. And they punched this in. The way this Pulaski offense is sputtering tonight, the Maroons are going to be in big-time trouble.
So big defensive stand here for the Maroons. And here's the give. And he may have gotten the yard that he needed for first down, but not much more.
First down, Jaguars.
And again, our announcement from the PA announcer ahead of the officiating crew here tonight. It is now official. It's the first down, and it'll be first down and goal to go. 9:40 here as the Jags.
Sorry, Jeff. I wonder who's going to carry this.
And there it is. And they're wrapped up at the 5-yard line. And Gabe Blair, who's been the workhorse tonight for the Jags, has not slowed any at all, and looks like he's starting to build a little momentum, and that's the last thing you need from a very physical tailback.
20-19
Second down and goal now, and Nelson calls a timeout. So the Jags use their first here with 8:57 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, Jeff, Pulaski County, the Maroons just haven't given themselves a chance in this football game. And I hate to be the dead horse to death, but 3 fumbles, and we keep going back to that first and goal to one when they didn't score, you're just not going to win a game at home making those kind of mistakes, let alone a game on the road at North Laurel. For whatever reason, Pulaski County just does not play well at this venue at all. They absolutely killed North Laurel last year at home, and they were 2-8. And Blair and Nelson were in it. They killed this team last year.
And that's the thing is, when you've got Pulaski County, I mentioned the youth before, sometimes the teams just simply, you have a mental breakdown night like this, and a veteran team will get things back together, but sometimes a younger team will take their time about trying to get together into this game. So here is the give over the right side, and this will be just short of the goal line. It looks like it's going to be about second. We're at the third down and a couple of yards.
Goal from the two, but you know, the three fumbles tonight, you got two seniors that are guilty of those turnovers.
Well, that's a good point. It is the seniors so far with turnovers. So now here's the keeper, and right through the arm, Nelson scored into the end zone. And was that Colin Blair who was had him wrapped up?
Yep, he had him wrapped up at about the 2.5. And
just
broke the tackle and scored.
Just through the arm tackle of Hal Blair, and so 20 points with an opportunity to add the extra point here at North Laurel. So here's the kick. It's up and good. And it is a 21-0 lead for the Jaguars of North Laurel High School here in London, Kentucky. And you're watching on MVPSportsChannel.com. It's been a pretty comfortable night here. Weather-wise, we had the rain move in early on, cool things down. Pretty good crowd here on hand tonight. And if you are watching at home, we certainly do appreciate it, and we certainly do thank you for sharing on Facebook that we're on Twitter as well. And you can send your friends to MVPSportsChannel.com so that they too can catch all the action.
Yeah, Pulaski County had other ideas tonight. The Maroons thought this was a very winnable football game, but you're not going to beat anybody when you play this poorly. Pulaski didn't play this poorly against Simon Kenton when they got beat 50-7 earlier this season. And that's saying something. Well, Simon Kenton just that much better. I mean, they're 6A powerhouse. The Maroons have not played well tonight.
So the kick goes out of bounds. And so that'll draw the flag and bring things out to the 35. Now, speaking of the schedules, Pulaski County, after the North Laurel here, this game, they go on the road, and Madison Southern is waiting for them in Berea, Kentucky.
Mr. Damian Harris.
Yes,
offered by Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan.
Then it's on to South Laurel. They'll be at Southwestern across town and close out against Christian County from Hopkinsville. So here's the nice move this time by Hall. And Nicky running will pick up a first down out near midfield. North Laurel, we're talking about the scheduling here. They still have Southwestern they'll host on the 5th, a week from tomorrow night. Then it's on the road to close things out at Madison Southern and then at Lincoln County.
And, Jeff, I think we've just seen our superior collision of the game. Jacob Denny on a peel-back block for the Maroons just took out 2 Jaguars on that play. So I think we have our number 1 candidate for that superior collision center collision of the game.
And we have gotten to the 8-minute mark in the third quarter before we've really seen a huge impact like that one, Brian. So, of course, we will be announcing our superior collision of the game at the conclusion of this contest tonight. And we'd like to say thanks to the folks at Southern Collision for providing us with that award. So we'll see if that one holds up if we get some more contact before the end of the night. But in case you get into one of those collisions, Doug, you might want to keep Southern Collision on your speed dial.
I'll do that. Don't know if it'll be a factor, Jeff, later in the game. North Laurel just burned its second timeout of the second half. So now the Jags are going to have 1 timeout. Don't know if it's going to be a factor because they got the luxury of having a 21-point cushion right now. But don't know what the problem was. Coach Larkey didn't like the way his defense was lined up, I guess. So now they're down to 1 timeout for the remainder of the way.
Well, I'll tell you this.
7:57 left in the third quarter.
I'll tell you this about Coach Pulaski, who, regardless of what the score is making sure he's coaching up these guys and making sure that they don't open the door for the Maroons here. All play action. Looking for receiver. Little dump off pass that time. And that's going to pick up about 4.5, 5 yards.
Well, number 4, Rashawn Andrews, was breathing down Riley Hall's throat. And the youngster had to get that ball away and quickly.
Good job to get that one to Caleb Cox.
Minimal gain, though. Only gain of about 3.
Cox, by the way, spelling Goins, who we talked about a little while ago, who's had a couple fumbles on the evening. So Cox trying to rumble across midfield and does so. And that's going to bring up third down at about 3.
Cox is a little bit different style of runner than Goins. Goins likes to get on the edge and beat you with his speed. Cox can do the same thing, but I think Caleb likes running between the tackles.
Well, he certainly gets the pad level down when he goes between the guards. So Hall now, rolling, looking. Got plenty of pressure. Unloads this one.
Wow, how did he get that off?
Well, he threw a strike.
Man.
And this was receiver right between the 4s.
And that's a freshman. Keep that in mind, folks. He is mature beyond his years, let me tell you. He doesn't get rattled. And another thing I like about Riley Hall, he's wearing Boomer Sison's numbers. The Bengals.
Good job that time by the offensive line to not jump after the Jaguars' defensive front. So, all checking off here. Little adjustment. And that's the speedster. Woolridge gets out for another first down. Good job by Hall to see the pressure coming and where it was coming from and just checked right out of that. Good job.
And another thing, we talk about how mature Riley Hall is and what a great athlete he is. Jeff, he knows this playbook as well as Johnny Hines. He's got a grasp of this offense.
Well, he certainly knows how to use the call.
Nothing shakes this young man. You talk about a coach that's happy to see him for the next 3.5 years.
You bet. Back to Cox. Cut back, and the stretch is pretty close to the first down if he doesn't have it, depending upon the spot here. And the judge apparently saying right at the 20-yard line strike. And the Hall hurrying this offense, satisfied with a second down and a couple of yards to go. So he keeps it himself, turns the corner, and he's got a little room, and he's going to step out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and so suddenly the Maroons with a little momentum.
Knocked out of bounds by Major.
I think that was a design play, Jeff. Just a little rollout by Riley into the left. So now the Maroons Another first and goal this time from the 9. Let's see if they can push it in and try to get back into this football game somewhat.
With that misdirection, help the Maroons pick up a first down. And it's first and goal, and to give to Cox, trying to bounce his way out, and very strong running. And he turned what would be maybe a yard gain into about 4.
One man's not going to bring Caleb Cox down, and he is a sophomore, but he missed the entire year last year due to an ACL tear. This young man he's not a freshman, but he's another one of those youngsters that has a very bright future, Jeff.
Well, he and Hall seem to be a pretty good combination here in the second half, and there is Cox in for the touchdown. So the first score comes at 4:50 remaining in the third quarter for the Maroons with an extra point attempt.
That's a
4-yard
run.
4-yard hard run by Cox. And Cox finishing off what Hall devised there, and a lot of that, I think, probably coming from the field general himself. So here's the extra point attempt, and it is up and good. So now suddenly it seems like a ball game again. So 21-7. Once that first score threshold is broken, now all of a sudden some confidence coming.
Yeah, and this is a young team, and they play well with that momentum. So maybe you can get a turnover. The turnover battle, North Laurel's winning 3-0. Get a turnover, get a 3 and out. We've seen strange things happen. If they could somehow get another score before this quarter's out and have this down to a 1-touchdown game, Jeff, 1 in the fourth quarter, then we got a ball game.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that Coach Larkey was trying to avoid, not letting the Maroons, because he knows that they're wounded and they're dangerous at this point in time, and so he's trying not to give them any opportunities. But here, now, it suddenly is a 2-score game, and a lot of time left.
Yes, and Chris Larkey on the field talking to a side judge about something. But I will say this, regardless how bad things are going for Pulaski, they were getting killed on the road at Simon Kenton, 50-7. They did not quit till the scoreboard had 3 zeros. They'll play till the final hole. They may not play well, but they'll give you all they got for 4 quarters.
Well, the effort is most of the time what coaches want at this level. And so if you can keep things with some kind of motion and some kind of momentum going with the kick, and this one fielded by Michael Nelson, and he is dangerous when he has the ball, as we've seen throughout the game. Kicking, punting, passing, running. He's an all-around threat.
Yeah, he really is. He's a very good football player. And got a feeling, I mean, there's no secrets in this North Laurel offense. It's either Nelson or Blair. I mean, you know, and it burnt Pulaski on the first play of the game when they hit Cole Lewis for the 65-yard bomb for a touchdown. But you just got to stop those 2 guys, and you stop this offense, basically.
So a lot of ebb and flow in this particular game. Here comes Blair. Blair down at the 40-yard line. That'll bring up second down for the Jaguars. If you're just joining us, it's the Maroons here on the road to their neighbor, North Laurel. And the North Laurel Jaguars has had a comfortable 14-0 lead at halftime. They extended that one just minutes ago, 21-0. But then the Maroons finally find a little rhythm in their offense and some confidence now for their defense, who looks like that they've suddenly come alive.
Good job there on that play. Austin Cornett, number 5, hit that hole. He got there about the time Blair did. And it looked like number 59. I think that's Colin Blair was in on that stop as well. So this Pulaski defense, you know, they are playing better, Jeff, and I don't want to take anything away from them. But again, they know where the ball's going. It's either number 28 left or right or Nelson on the keeper. There's no trickery in this North Laurel offense right now. If they could do a play action right now and try to go deep, they might have somebody open.
And one is the ball carrier. And I tell you that Gabe Blair on that last carry went away from back to the huddle, and he was favoring his right arm. So we'll see how effective he is. Maybe he got a little stinger on that, but that time Michael Nelson gets the carry, and there is a flag, and this most likely will be coming back.
And I didn't see the flag. It looked like he just pulled it out of his pocket. But I was going to say something. Did you notice how when Nelson peeled back and came toward the North Laurel sidelines, Christian Keith, number 16, another one of those youngsters, he did a great job of coming up at a pursuit angle and stayed home, because if he didn't make that play, Nelson might have had a first down.
Yeah, of course, Keith is the cornerback.
Yeah, Pulaski, I think, has declined this penalty. And I don't think you would see North Laurel go for it on this side of the 50. Now, if North Laurel, the ball is at the 42, if they were at the Pulaski 42, I could see them maybe doing another fake. Because remember, Nelson is the quarterback. But I think they'll kick this ball away with 3 minutes and counting here in the third quarter.
And Nelson looking first for an opportunity. And that's one of the things that having your punter as your quarterback will do, draw up the defense, and, of course, then turn it into a fair catch and not giving yourself an opportunity to return the ball if you're the receiving team.
Yeah, you know something that impresses me about Nelson? He runs that ball like he's going to keep it, and then he kicks that ball on a run. That's hard to do, because I was a punter in high school, and I know. And trust me, at Casey County, I had a lot of practice punting. Okay? Especially one year. That's hard to do. And he gets a lot of height on it, and we didn't punt on first down. There's a couple games I wish we had of. Yeah. Thanks for that, Abner. Appreciate that.
Well, as a quarterback, there are a few times where I wish we'd punted on first down.
Okay, the ref, the flathead threw a flag as soon as that ball was snapped, so I think we got the legal procedure.
And so that 5-yard run going to be nullified.
And that's not how you want to start out this drive. 2:42 left. You just scored to cut it to 21-7 if you're Pulaski County.
Not doing yourself any favors, that's for sure. You've got a 14-point deficit to overcome. And
you know, Pulaski, Jeff, one of the trademarks of this offense is the big play capabilities. They've really not had a big play tonight.
No, not at all. So Riley Hall back to lead the team, hopefully, downfield if you're a Maroon fan. And that time wrapped up. Rashawn Andrews is right there for the Jaguars to roll him down. But looks like there is a cramp.
Got a Jaguar down.
And those are painful. It looks like both. It was Andrews. And they're trying to stretch him out a little bit.
So now you got second and about 16. You're deep in your own end of the field. You've got 2:14 left here in the third quarter. You're trailing 21-7.
And if you're the offensive coordinator, what are you thinking?
Well,
draw play, screenplay?
I would be tempted to do a screenplay. Maybe let them, middle screen or something. Although, the first year, Johnny Hines, second year maybe, Pulaski was at its own 1-yard line, first and 99. He came out 5 wide in the shotgun. So you never know what he's going to do. That playbook's deep, let me tell you.
Well, not only that, but when you don't really favor any tendencies and you just go against the grain all the time, it's hard to, for a head coach to be able to figure out what the other guy's thinking that's staring at him on the other sideline.
And the reason why I said maybe middle screen, North Laurel in the first half, if you remember, did a jailbreak with the blitz. So I'd be tempted, Aaron Smith, number 11, or maybe Goins out of the backfield, I'd be tempted to do a middle screen because it looks like they're going to bring the house right here.
Well, here comes the pressure. But a good job just keeping everything in front of them there with that zone coverage by the Jaguars. And the Maroons not able to get back to the original line of scrimmage here on this, and that's going to bring up third down at about 14.
Yeah, and where they're at on this side of the field, they're definitely going to have to punt this ball away with a minute 30 left in the third quarter if they don't get it.
So Hall, looking for a receiver, pulls it back down and has the dump off of his flags immediately. And we'll see what that call is all about. A lot of laundry on the field tonight.
Yeah, it's been an ugly game as far as a lot of penalties called.
There's a penalty flag on the field.
Very difficult to get into any kind of sync if you are an offense or defense in this particular type environment with the penalties. And that time, that hold.
He pointed against North Laurel.
He did indeed. And if that's a defensive hold.
Well, they're discussing it, but that's what he said.
Well,
unless he changes his mind.
I think that's confirmation here that they are moving the sticks on the other side. So, again, the Jaguars with a huge mental mistake.
That's a huge call right there because Pulaski was looking at fourth and about 12.
Third quarter action here from London, Kentucky, North Laurel High School. Maroons.
Got to take advantage of it, though, Ted.
It is Hall. And with a give to Cox, who sort of squirts forward and picks up about 6 yards.
Cox, the ball carrier, stopped by McFadden.
And the clock just went under a minute here in the third quarter. Pulaski trailing North 21-7.
McFadden on the stop here, and suddenly
the refs are having a conversation while the clock's going. So if you're going to talk, at least stop the clock.
So the defense now starting to get some cracks in it. So here's a little misdirection, and Smith with the carry. And he weaves his way in and out for first down and just short of the 50-yard line.
That's that little shovel pass that they did earlier. And I think they got a big play. You remember the first half?
They did.
They ran that shovel pass a couple times in the Round County game in the season opener of the Ray Creel Bowl. And Brian Henry, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they scored on one of those shovel passes.
Brian will probably correct you even if you aren't wrong.
He would.
So
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
20 seconds now here on a first down snap. Riley Hall and the Maroons. And play action. Has the man deep single coverage and hits Alec Woolridge in the hands. However, he was certainly shielded there by the corner. And there is no flag. So incomplete, that stops the clock with 9 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
North Laurel fans are barking, and maybe with good reason because Alec Woolridge pushed off. Now, it wasn't as blatant as Golden Tate in the end zone. He was creating space, is what Brian Abner said.
Second down, option play. And this time, Cox does a good job just get back to the line of scrimmage. The fourth quarter is ahead of us here on MVPSportsChannel.com. 21-7, your score currently. Checking things out around the
end of the third quarter
on Facebook. Thank you very much. A lot of new likes a little while ago when I had an opportunity to check things out. So we'd like to say thank you to some of the folks who have made their comments as well as likes for Facebook. If you've got a Facebook account, we'd like for you to share with everybody that MVPSportsChannel.com is online and available for you, free of charge, of course, and we bring the games to you live as they happen And, Doug, by the way, we're going to go south of the border coming up next week. We're going to be getting our first Tennessee game of the season underway. Red Boiling Springs is where we're headed. That won't be too far south of Tompkinsville and Edmonton. They'll be taking on, much like tonight's game, big district game for them against Monterey. Wow. And so that ought to be very exciting. A lot of playoff implications for both of those teams. And we'll get a chance to bring that to you, so don't miss that out. And that'll be coming up a week from tomorrow night on a Friday night, as we have a Thursday night special going on here as Riley Hall takes it on third down, looking to keep it, turns it upfield and does. And looks like he's going to be short by about 3 yards, but you got to think that while you got the ball and you got momentum,
and you're on North Laurel side of the 50.
And I think that's the determining factor. You might be looking at a fourth down, and the Maroons are.
And they got very little choice. They're down 2 scores. They got to go for it.
3 wide receivers to the near side. And looks like it's pressure coming up the middle there for the Jaguars. So, again, changing protection. Maybe changing the play, going to the opposite side, that's Cox. And again, seeing the pressure coming, and Hall can just step right out of that and go to the opposite direction.
And you see how Cox just looks like he's running downhill. He's going to be a load. He already is a load, Jeff, but he's a very special talent.
And Hall has apparently got ice water in his veins because he doesn't look rattled at all when that pressure is shown. He looks like he's glad that you just tipped your hat to him. So again, from the shotgun, and there is a
no play. I heard the Whitehead say no play.
No play. So
why do we not have a play? We got an equipment problem.
That might be the case.
Well, he's sending Cox off the field, so apparently there's either an equipment problem or an injury, and Cox looks fine.
Cox is going over, walking it off, whatever it is. So keeper this time. And Hall working his way all the way. It's down the road. Wow. Keep running. Riley Hall.
Tyler going and Aaron Hall. Great blocks. A 31-yard run by Riley Hall on what looked to be, Jeff, to be a design play. And all of a sudden, Pulaski County is in this game.
Well, if you went away at halftime and your popcorn took too long, suddenly there's a football game broke out here in London, Kentucky, and I'm not talking about the South Laurel game that's across town that's going on as we speak right now.
Big extra point.
Yes, it is, and that one dead through the center, and that brings it to a 7-point differential tonight. The home Jaguars trying to hold off the Maroons here with 10:43 remaining in this contest. And suddenly, the one timeout remaining by the Jags could be looming large.
Could be. They've called 2 timeouts so far, and let's face it, after North went up 21-0, I made the comment, and I stand by it. Pulaski County's not played well tonight. And that's really the first big play they've hit all night, 31-yard run. But they've not played that well. And you look up, they're only down a touchdown with most of the fourth quarter to go. And they just got to get a stop. And, boy, how big was that first and goal from the one loom right now?
And I got to agree with Colin, who posted on our Facebook page. He says, we got a ball game. Way to go, PC. So, we do certainly have a ball game. 10:43 is where we stand remaining in this ball game.
And Tyler going, I've not seen Tyler kick the ball till tonight. So this is a new wrinkle.
So Tyler with a strong leg, and this one end over end past the 20. And returned out past the 35-yard line. Returned by Michael Nelson, and he and this Jag offense. Now, do they go away from what has gotten them here this far Or do they try to do something out of their norm? And we saw, of course, the opening play from the line of scrimmage was 4 touchdown play-action pass. And so do you go against that, what you've been doing up until this point? You try to run some time off the clock.
Yeah, I think when I was looking, Gabe Blair is back in there. I think they'll stay with what's worked. I think it'll be Blair and Nelson leading the way. They got great field position. They're at the 38-yard line. And I think they'll just try to eat this clock. And what do I know?
And here's Cole Lewis. And the Maroons, having none of that, rolling the coverage from the safeties over to take care of that. And, of course, the incomplete pass out of bounds.
But, you know,
didn't help.
Not to interrupt you, Jeff, but that's a great call, even though he threw the ball out of bounds and it went for an incomplete pass. The way Pulaski's defense is keying on Blair and Nelson, you got to throw the ball just to keep them honest.
Absolutely, and that's the thing is we've talked about that it's been a two-man show outside of what Cole Lewis has done, but had they been able to connect on that one, it certainly would have taken the wind out of the sails of the Maroons.
Well, have you noticed how quiet this crowd's gotten over here on this side?
I have. And now here is the give, and it's Gabe Blair who will pick up decent yardage on the second down carry.
Mason Hilton on that tackle as well.
That's 35 now from the 42-yard line.
Number 78, Kyle Varney, also in on that stop. And now all of a sudden, Jeff, you've got a third and about 6 1/2. And all of a sudden, for the first time, North Laurel has a little pressure to deal with. Because after the first play of the game, they've really not had any pressure till right now. Big play for both teams right here, Jeff.
So that time,
Aaron Smith
came from Smith. He just really got a call out there and jerked him down to the turf. And that's going to bring up 4th down at about 5.
Yep, Aaron Smith was blocked, but he did a great job of shedding that block and threw enough of his body out there to knock Blair's feet out from under him. And the way Nelson runs with this ball, I would be tempted if I'm Pulaski County, I'd be tempted to come after this one.
Wholesale blitz maybe coming up here from the Maroons.
Although unless he sees something that he likes, I can't imagine North Laurel taking this thing.
Well, he's looking and pulls it down, but then punts. And I think that he's got the green light to option on that on every single play. So 20-yard line, just across the 20-yard line is where the ball is going to be spotted down. 8:42 remains here in the contest on MVPSportsChannel.com here for Thursday night. Jeff Wicks, Doug Eads, and Brian Abner for your contest tonight to be able to bring this to you. We're certainly appreciative of the folks here at North Laurel letting us come by and get everything set up this afternoon. And now an evening where the temperatures are continuing to drop just a little bit. Still very comfortable long sleeve weather. But if Brian Abner had brought us some fried chicken at halftime, we would have warmed up for that. First down. And the end around goes to Woolridge, who has great speed. And he picks up 5 yards on that carry. And most importantly, continues a little momentum here for the Maroons if you're a Pulaski County fan.
Yeah, Pulaski County has done a good job. They got this North Laurel defense back on its heels a little bit.
And it does appear that there's a little bit difference of confidence for this Jag defense. And this time out of the pistol and a little shovel to the inside. This time, that inside little play doesn't go for much of the game. So it'll be 3rd and about 3. Ball's on the 27-yard line.
7:50 in county. See what Johnny Hines and Raleigh Hall dial up here.
Cole Lewis cheating up a little bit on the defense. And Goins with some close legs says, I'm going to pull right over and pick up a first down is what I'm going to do.
They just dialed up an angry Tyler Goins because he made somebody pay. I think Tyler's a little upset over those two fumbles.
And I may chalk that one up for nominee for our collision of the game because that was a big first down there by Tyler Goins. Superior collision.
I don't think Tyler was aiming to be denied on that carry.
Well, he had to sit a little while on the bench and taking out some frustrations on the blue jerseys.
Well, I tell you what, lack of playing time is a great equalizer, isn't it? Not?
Especially when you're eager, like Tyler Goins is.
John Calipari said last year that the bench is his best friend. Nobody wants to do something on it. It will get your attention.
I did not want to sit near the coach, that's for sure. Second down and 9. Woolridge, flag on the play. Woolridge with a shirt tail. And he is getting back, and it's all for naught, but it is exciting the far sidelines.
I don't know what the call is. I mean, he's allowed to go in motion.
And it was way before there was an opportunity for a hold, so I'm not sure either unless it was maybe lined up. So I see the one flag back at the Pulaski County 40. And I do not see another flag.
I don't see another flag.
But there was a conversation going on, so.
I know Johnny Hines is going to want an explanation.
And he's about to get one because the official is explaining that to him.
So that play didn't happen.
Penalty goes against the Maroons. Second and 9 now for 38.
So the conversation goes on with the defense down there, giving them some options.
I didn't see illegal procedure. I'm not saying it's a bad call. I saw Woolridge running in motion, which he's allowed to do. So I don't know what these guys saw.
So that one is waved off. Yeah. So there were 2 penalties.
Here's my thing real quick, Jeff. If it's a dead ball, false start, the play never happened. But the way the referee thinks is they actually declined to block in the back. It was actually that's not the way that rule is.
So either way, he's taken down and long, and a swing pass going out to Goins, who gives a little stiff arm and a spin, and back to the line of scrimmage. And maybe plus a yard.
The ball carrier.
You got just shade over 6 minutes left in the ball game, Seth, and you're 3rd and 15. I don't know that Johnny Hines will kick this ball. If he can get about 8 to 10 yards, he may be compelled to go for it on 4th down.
Empty backfield. And Hall's going to roll, looking, got pressure, and does get it away. And maybe I've seen so many flags I was expecting one. I thought for sure for a moment there was a flag thrown right after the ball was released. But it is 4th down and 14. And with that incomplete pass, that probably is going to put you in a punt situation.
Yeah, and North Laurel's going to get excellent field position, too.
So here is the punt. They're going to let this one go as it trickles down to inside the 25-yard line and is going to be down there.
Took a great PC bounce. That may be the best punt Jacob Dennis had all year.
Well, it was effective. I don't know about how pretty it was, but that's all you're looking for is effectiveness. So now the Jags will take over and trying to hold on to this 7-point lead with 5:39 remaining here in this game.
Won't be a good time for Pulaski to get his first turnover tonight, would it?
Anytime's a good time for a turnover, but this one would certainly be timely. And the home stand coming to their feet and trying to cheer on their offense. And this time, it is Hagan Hodges who gives to Michael Nelson. And Brian Abner says Jacob Denny with another Superior Collision candidate.
For those of you who don't know, Jacob Denny is the starting third baseman on Pulaski's baseball team. Kid's tougher than nails.
Also want to say hello to Renee Denny, Jacob's mom, at home watching us tonight, recovering from surgery. Get well soon. Hope to see you back at the football field.
And we hope to see an end to these flags tonight because there's been a bunch and a couple of them that time.
That's a costly one for North Laurel. That's illegal procedure. So instead of 2nd and 7, you now got 2nd and 12. Worse for North Laurel, you stop the clock with 5:01 left.
And Brian was just talking about the fact that some folks are at home watching us tonight, and we certainly do appreciate that. And happen to know that we're on in Central Florida tonight as well. So thank you very much for tuning in. Your comments on MVPSportsChannel.com on our Facebook page. Nelson going nowhere because we had a lot of white jerseys that had a hold of him. Smith, one of those that was in there early, bringing up a third down.
Third and about 10 and a half. It's just a shade longer than 10 yards. You've got North Laurel in a position. The Jags don't like to throw the football. They completed, I think, one pass all night, and that was the first play of the game. That went for a 65-yard bomb when a receiver was 25 yards behind the defense.
So odds are, as Jansen Hacker comes to the near side, and Cole Lewis in the slot, but another flag. And it is a dead ball delay of game. So this officiating crew is going to have to ice down their arms from throwing all those flags. And that will back up the Jaguars to third down and 16. And that's going to be tough, especially when you haven't put the ball in the air, as you said, Doug. Or at least not effectively.
4 minutes exactly left on the clock.
So again,
what North Laurel does here.
Cole Lewis in the slot, but it's got to be a keeper. Big hit. Michael Nelson, who loses feet and tries to hurdle over. So it is timeout Pulaski.
Brian Edner saying that last play was a penalty. I'll let him explain.
KHSA rule, that is now a penalty, Jeff. You are not allowed to hurdle a player that is standing up. If he's laying down, you can hurdle him. But in KHSA, you are no longer allowed to do that with the head injury issue and other things. That's a new rule that they just came out with this year. That's one the referees missed right there.
Certainly a safety issue. And much like for the pros, to the college level, and obviously that trickles all the way down to the high school level, concussions are a big issue, and they should be. However, the officiating crew apparently is not aware of that one. So fourth down, though, and a big stop there by the Pulaski County defense. And with 3:46 remaining here in this fourth quarter of play from London, Kentucky, and North Laurel High School, the Jags would like to see a breakdown in coverage here by the Maroons to pick up the first down and not hand it back to them, give them an opportunity.
Well, Aaron Hall's got to be sure-handed on this punt. Pulaski almost blocked this last punt, the possession before, because Nelson almost took too much time. He's not going to do that this time.
More traditional punt this time, fielded at the 40. And the move, that will take it out right to midfield stripe. So
Got a Jaguar down at about the 43-yard line.
So Aaron Hall.
That's cramps. That's like the second time tonight. Number 23, Brian Evans says. I can't see a number.
Number 49.
So conditioning here showing up on the Jags' behalf.
Okay, Jeff, there's 3:36 left. You've got a quarterback that's very comfortable going no huddle. You got 2 timeouts left, and you're on a short field. The ball is actually in North Laurel territory. 3:36 for this offense is a ton of time. They just got to keep the chains moving and take care of the football.
Well, this is situational football, and I'm sure that they've covered this in practice many, many times. So Riley Hall trying to get the team to settle down here for the Maroons' first down play. Woolridge in motion. And this time he keeps it right over the middle. And that is Smith. And again, caught by the shirt tail, dragged by inside the 20-yard line. And the Maroons with a big swing in the middle as they're now inside the red zone with plenty of time. And that, of course, from the play earlier and a little play action off of that.
They're in the red zone now. 1st and 10, 3:21 and counting.
And to give to Goins, he's got blockers. And a good job that time. And that was number 79, Chase Wilby, who was out there, who had a nice block to kind of spring going for that big gainer.
Can I throw something out, guys? 3:12 left. Johnny Hines wouldn't go for 2, would he? You got a young place kicker, a freshman. That's presuming, of course, Pulaski puts this in the end zone.
Well, that's the first thing. And here, Hall gets stopped. But, you know, that may not be such a bad play. And I'll tell you why I think so. Because it keeps that clock rolling and eats up a little time just in the event that you get in the. And plus, if you're a quarterback, you want to have a little room down there. You don't want to be up so tight that you can't complete a pass. So, Riley Hall with a good distance. Goins going to do the strip arm and power his way inside the 5-yard line. Down to the 3. Clock running. We're approaching 2 minutes now. And you start seeing some hands on some hips from the defense.
You've got 2 plays to gain 3 yards, basically. Clock rolls at 2:03 and counting.
The home crowd getting excited, cheering on the defense. Back to Goins, who's got to stand. Maroons back to the inside. 1:52 remains here. Decision time. 21-20. And what are you going to do? And you got to think that, yes, indeed, it looks like that they've got them on the ropes. And
I think they're going to go for it.
So Johnny Hines says, we're going to win this one right here, or we're going to lose this one right here. So, gutsy call here from Coach Hines.
Wow.
Timeout. Jaguars. Yeah, the officials initially pointed toward the Maroons, but a big timeout and a big play. This basically is for the game here, Doug Eaves. So now with a timeout, do you revisit that with Johnny Hines?
I think he's going to go for it because it's on the road. You know, he did this a couple years ago at Barrington. I know Brian Ardner will remember that. And they didn't make it. Lost the game. But I'm sure he's got a play designed for this very situation. And if I were guessing, I would say you're going to see Riley Hall on a rollout of some kind with a pass run option, would be my guess.
Well, that is.
Brian Evans says they're going to give it to Goins.
That would be my guess, is the rollout with the option. But if they think for just a moment that that's what the Jags are thinking, they're going to go.
This could very well. This probably is the ball game. They don't make it. They got an onside kick, but.
And you also have some timeouts, which could be a big factor in the decision making for these Maroons.
Here we go.
So here's the snap, and it looks like it is passed all the way. And now the conversion for the two-point conversion as Golden slips out and down the sidelines and falls right on. And it is a 22-21 10 from behind. Wow. Betsy call here with 1:52 remaining in this exciting ball game on MVP Sports Channel.
All I got to say is this. If somebody took a knife and stabbed Johnny Hines in the heart right now, he'd probably leak out eye water. Wow, what a call.
I got to wonder what kind of plays he's got jotted down up under that hat.
But you know what? Knowing Johnny Hines, and don't get me wrong, he wants to win this football game. Had they not made that and they go on to lose this game, he'd probably be the first say we didn't deserve to win the game anyway with the way we played for 2.5 quarters.
Right. Well, you don't want to be in that situation where you got to gamble at the end, of course, but at the same time, you got to really take your hat off to the Maroons for staying around, and then suddenly here they are inside 2 minutes to go with a 1-point lead, the first lead of the game. And interesting enough, for these Jags, and suddenly we have a lot of empty space over here in the home stand, and there's a lot of ball game to be played.
Brian Abner just made a good point. I hate to give him credit. I do remember the game, and I do remember the situation, but he just reminded me in 2009 at home, and I think it was a Thursday night game. Pulaski County was playing Knox Central. It's one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. With about 6 minutes left in the first half, Knox Central led a very good Pulaski team 21-0. Pulaski rallied to win that game 28-27.
Wow. So, Coach Hines, whether his young players have or not, he's been in this situation before, and with 14 seasons under your belt, you've seen a few things. So,
and this game's not over, by the way.
Yes.
You've got to be careful on this kickoff because this Nelson kid is a threat to go to the house anytime he touches it.
And I'm going to tell you, too, that we've already seen a big leg from a field goal kicker, and do not forget that they attempted a 52-yard field goal earlier in this game that could only a penalty was the difference in him making that and not. But if it comes down to a field goal, it's going to be huge. So end over end kick. This one inside the 10, fielded at the 5. And Paul on the run, and he's been shot. It is a lot of time. It's a finger, and it's
got it.
It was fifth down, Maroon. And I believe that was Jake Hudson. If I'm not mistaken, they had flags on the field.
Penalty flags on Pulaski's sideline.
But I'm not sure. Is that?
But the touchdown should count.
Touchdown will count. And then, what a crazy game this one has turned into at Pulaski County as they have Cole Lewis on the ropes. He's got to go out of the corner, and then suddenly the knockout touch comes.
I still don't know who scored the touchdown, who recovered the fumble.
I think it's Jake Hudson.
I think it is who it was.
And Jake Hudson.
Here comes the ref.
So,
Yeah, because you cannot run onto the field until the game's over, obviously.
Right. So the explanation now coming to Coach Pulaski.
But the touchdown should count.
Well, that is correct. So again,
dead ball. Unsportsmanlike, that's what it should be. Now, Chris Larkey's on the field. Okay. He just wanted an explanation. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
They were asking him where. Actually, Jeff, he's asking if he wants to put that on the extra point attempt or on the kickoff. That's his choice.
Right.
So they're going to make it on the extra point attempt here because if Pulaski does not make this conversion, it still makes it a one-possession ball game because right now your score is 28-22 Pulaski. I'm sorry, 28-21 Pulaski. So this is a huge conversion for the Maroons.
Still 1:39 remaining here in this game, and which has taken a huge turn of events with that turnover and return for a touchdown. And so here's the point after attempt. It is long enough, but it is no good. It is wide left. So it is indeed a one-possession ball game, as Brian Abner just pointed out. 28-21, your score here.
I tell you what, Jeff, what a great game we've seen. And while we were sitting here, I was checking our Facebook, and we just got a message. Jennifer Reynolds, she did not make it over to the game tonight for Pulaski County. One of the PC moms saying that she's watching us on MVP Sports channel tonight. I want to thank her for tuning in, and she did a really good, really quick get well to her, and hopefully we'll see her back at the stadium. And I'm getting text messages from everybody watching the game. Who scored the touchdown? We do think it was Jake Hudson. We're not positive, but we think that's who it was. So for now, Jake Hudson's going to get credit for a touchdown.
Well, he's getting credit.
So Johnny Hines tells me different after the game. We're going to give it to Hudson. But now, that unsportsmanlike, what you've done now, North Laurel scores and kicks an extra point to go to overtime.
And you've, so far, you have bottled this up. So don't be overconfident if you're the Maroons. If you're the Jags, you still got some daylight. So here is the kickoff. And again, it's a good one. And it's going to go out of bounds, which will give great field position to start with.
35-yard line.
35-yard line for the Jaguars.
But here's where being a run-dominant, run-oriented team is biased. Now, the first play of the game, they were on the 35, and Cole Lewis burnt Pulaski. So I'm not saying they can't do it. But North Laurel, that's the only pass they've completed tonight.
It's definitely been on the ground. But we also...
I'm saying, Jeff, not to interrupt you, they're going to make Pulaski kick this over? I guess they are.
Well, I guess they have that option.
It's not an offense that's designed to be in comeback mode with not a lot of time left. And keep in mind, fans, North Laurel has no timeout. And that could be huge.
Well, with 1:39, it's a lot of time. And as we've seen, anything can happen in just a matter of moments. So glad to be bringing you all of this great action here tonight from North Laurel High School, home of the Jaguars, as they have been comfortable with a lead all the way up until the fourth quarter, and now suddenly the visiting Pulaski County Maroons have come back, and they hold the 28-21 lead here late in this ball game. And, of course, you're watching it on MVPSportsChannel.com.
You mentioned that our fans at home, Jeff, get this for free. The folks that paid and came out tonight, they got their money's worth.
They have indeed. They have indeed. So now, breaking through, and suddenly there's some daylight. Cutting back Michael Mason dancing around, but then suddenly he's swallowed up. And there's a late flag that comes in.
What was that? That's almost one of those where you think maybe somebody said something about somebody's mom.
I was just going to say probably somebody's lineage was in question.
And they act like they're going to mark this off against Pulaski.
Well, they are still in discussion. And the referee is facing that direction, and here comes the march against the Maroons. So it's a big one. So now midfield and plus a yard. So just inside Maroon territory are the Jaguars. As Doug just told you, the situation is no timeouts. A predominant ground game with basically one completed pass, but an electrifying runner in Michael Nelson, plus Gabe Blair in the backfield. And here's the snap. Nelson looking for the pass. First pressure. And has a corner as Maroons have recovered this one in a big blast. It is number 78, Tyler Barney, who puts him, recovers, and Barney now goes to the top of the heap on the superior collision of the game. And that may be your winner right there, because that one may have just sealed the deal on this exciting electric contest that we've got for you. But there is a player down. And
North Laurel is out of timeout, a minute 10 left. All Pulaski's going to have to do is take a couple knees, and this bad boy's over. Well, you talk about a sick feeling.
Michael Nelson has just had, if you hear the guys are discussing, is it an even turnover situation, Doug? And I believe Pulaski County still one short.
Yes. Pulaski 3 fumbles, North 2. But North 2 has came in the last minute and a half of the football game at the worst, most inopportune time. And Pulaski, Johnny Hines, doing a wise thing here. He just called a timeout.
Well, settle the guys down and make sure it's a clean snap. And
what I was getting ready to say is that you look at my notes here with 8:20 left in the third quarter. Nelson scored on a 2-yard run. With Kennedy CAT, it was 21-0. Stick a fork in Pulaski, the Maroons are done, right? No.
That's what you would think, that's for sure.
But you talk about a sick feeling if you're North Laurel. I'm sure the Jags thought they had this bad boy wrapped up. And I said it, I think, early in this broadcast, even when Simon Kenton, who, by the way, I think you could take, and this is just my opinion, you can take the 15 best kids off Somerset's roster, the 15 best off Pulaski's roster, and the 15 best off Southwestern's roster, go to Simon Kenton, you're going to get beat by 3 touchdowns. They're that good. But even at 50-7, there was no quit in Pulaski County. This team, I guess they're too young maybe to realize, they just don't quit.
Sometimes that is indeed a luxury that you have. Is as some of the coaches leaving the press box already for the Jaguars. We're inside 1 minute now, and the Pulaski County crew interested in the clock and determining whether they have to have a one kneel down or not, and they take it inside the 40-second mark, and there is probably your final kneel down. And a couple of congratulations.
You talk about dodging a major bullet, Jeff Lewis. The Pulaski County Maroons dodged for him tonight.
And North Laurel has some exciting players and a whole lot of football left to go here. And so the Maroons are indeed going to get this one.
That's going to be it,
and I believe I was looking at the officiating crew. And Aaron Hall just walked over and shook hands with the officiating crew. And thanked them very much. And I got to tell you, they've thrown a lot of flags. They've had a lot of calls tonight. But this has been an exciting ball game. It was almost like if you could just stand the storm, that you knew this one was going to have some kind of excitement brewing at the end.
Just don't count the Maroons. Don't ever count them out, Jeff. Enjoyed working with you again, my friend.
You bet. Glad to have you here as we have the conclusion here of this one, and a big win for Pulaski County, as tonight they have indeed weathered the storm, and North Laurel has certainly had its share of things to cheer about here tonight in London, Kentucky, and we are so glad that we were here to witness this one, and certainly glad that MVPSportsChannel.com was here to bring it to you no matter where you are watching tonight. And certainly, Brian Abner, we've had a lot of fun in being here in London tonight.
Tell you what, this just adds to the craziness you and I have had the opportunity to be around here in the last 5 or 6 years that we've been hanging around together, and some of the great football we've had to see. This is just another in the long list. It just keeps adding to it. And a team that was down 21-0 at halftime, looked like had nothing going for it, couldn't hold on to the football, comes back out, battles, gets a couple of those turnovers back, and ends up winning the game. And now I think Doug's going to set it straight on a few things.
Well, there's some conjecture about the fumble recovery on the kickoff. Some of the Pulaski coaches told some folks in the press box that they thought it might have been Trent Feeney on the recovery instead of Arnie. But I'm going to try to get some confirmation before you guys go off the air.
Okay, very good. Well, either way, again, an exciting ball game, and this is why you hang around. Brian, I think about this may actually top for me. Thinking about some of the ball games that we witnessed, and some of the games that they always come right down to the end, with the exception of the officials call at the end. This one rates right up there with the Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers from last week, and the infamous officiating crew.
And this is what you love to see right here, as the teams are meeting to pray at midfield. They're combatants on the field, but when the game's over.
And that's what good neighbors do. And you know, you go out, you give it your all on the field, and you play from the opening kickoff to the final sound of the horn, and then when all things are said and done, you both can have a lot to hold your head high about. And we're certainly, again, grateful for, by the way, a lot of new likes on Facebook tonight, followers on Twitter. It's MVP Sports News, at MVP Sports News if you're on Twitter, and you can follow us anytime.
They are saying that was Feeney that had the fumble recovery for the touchdown, and so I tell you what, we've had a lot of hits and a lot of big hits for the superior collision of the night, but I think my vote has to go for the hit at the end of the game that caused the fumble that Pulaski ended up picking up the second of the two fumbles that secured the win for the Maroons.
Well, that one sealed the deal, and it was indeed a big hit, and I have to agree with you, Brian. I think that one is going to go for our superior collision of the game. I'd like to say thank you and hello to all the folks at Superior Collision. In case you get into a collision, those are the folks carrying the gang, or the folks that you need to pick up the phone, give them a call, and let them know so that they can get you back on the road in a hurry. And Brian, there's been a whole lot of support for MVP Sports Channel, and both the folks at Ewing and our friends at Superior Collision would like to say thank you very much, and all of our other sponsors along the way. Also want to say thank you very much to the automotive group at Don Franklin for providing our vehicles.
Ride you had tonight.
Yes, indeed. Our promotional vehicles provided by Don Franklin. And got the Sierra tonight, and going to take that one for a spin back across the Laurel County line over to Pulaski County. So we'll head back over there tonight. And, of course, as we conclude here, reminding you that we will be on the road to Red Boiling Springs, Tennessee, and Monterey, as they'll host another great divisional game coming up for them, district game rather, and it's going to be exciting because we're making some history there in Red Bull and Springs. As far as I know, there in Macon County, Tennessee, it'll be the first time that they've ever had a live video broadcast of any sort for either one of their teams. So we're happy to make a little history for all those Macon Countyans and surrounding fans.
Looking forward to making that trip next Friday. And again, you can keep up with us right here on MVPSportsChannel.com. Just got a score from across town. South Laurel and Southwestern right now. South Laurel has scored again. That game is now 27-19 South Laurel in the fourth quarter. So two big games over here tonight. Two really good games in the county.
And obviously the reason that the games are being played tonight in Laurel County is because of the World Chicken Festival going on that started this afternoon at 5 o'clock. So if you were at home and you were looking for something to do on a Friday night and you get your fill of football, you can get your fill of fried chicken too. Well, that's all we got for you tonight here from North Laurel. And thanks again to all folks who have allowed us to come over and do our broadcast tonight, and our entire broadcast crew. I'd like to thank Doug Eads for stepping in tonight and providing a little bit of color commentary. And Brian, of course, we'll read all about it from Doug.
Yeah, it'll be in the Commonwealth Journal. They'll have a small portion of it, just a paragraph in tomorrow's newspaper. Right. And then Doug said in Saturday's paper, there'll be the full spread there. So you'll get to read all about it. If you want to watch the replay will be up probably sometime tomorrow.
If you'd like to see this game over and over and show all the friends, family, and relatives of all the broadcasts tonight. And again, thank you very much. Thanks for following us on Facebook and on Twitter. Have yourself a great rest of the night. Jeff Wicks, broadcasting from North Laurel here on MVPSportsChannel.com.